Good morning and welcome to the start of my Thursday. Our Thursday, everybody's Thursday. I can't claim to it being my own, but to my start of my day this Thursday morning. I'm up nice and early. I have my obligatory cup of coffee and I'm ready to hit the ground running this morning. This morning I'm going to be heading outside and working in the cul-de-sac where we live with the neighbours, and we're creating a sort of fairy garden at the end of the cul-de-sac. We've got a seat there, we've got plant pots there, and we're going to be putting lights in the trees and making little stools, things for the children to sit and play too. We've got insect hotels, we're planting bee and butterfly friendly flowers, so it's going to be a morning of fruition. So I'll be out there, I'm going out in about, I'd say, half an hour, and I shall be there for about an hour because then I have a reading, somebody's coming for a reading, and then back out again to continue until lunchtime. And then the rest of my day will open out and I'll just go with the flow. So why am I holding this shell? I'm holding this shell because, this was gifted to me by my son, and we're at that time of year where we spend lots of time walking on the beach, just breathing in that beautiful sea air. Now, I do walk the beach in winter too, but I tend to do a lot more of it during the summer months because 9 times out of 10 I fling my clothes off and I go dashing into the sea. Yes, it is a quiet sort of hidden beach. I wouldn't want to scare the locals nor anything else. But I do have a habit of doing that, and it makes me feel so at peace, refreshed and renewed, if that's possible. And this is just a symbol of all that joy that the walks bring, the shells that we collect, listening to the sea from distances through the shells, and just honouring everything that is earthly and beautiful. Now, why am I making this video this morning? It's only a very short one. I have been inspired to do this by my friend Richard Boo Gladstone, who received his copy of Mildred Payne's Oracle of Black Enchantment recently. And he asked me, well, how do I read an oracle card? So I thought I would just come on here. I've got the Secret Pocket Oracle, Mildred Payne's Secret Pocket Oracle, the tiniest one, and the biggest one, the Oracle of Black Enchantment. And I'm going to pull, say, a card, maybe 2 from each deck, just to give an example as to how I read these, but also what can I expect to come my way today, or what advice has Mildred and her Secret Pocket Oracle and the Black Enchantment Oracle got to give me today. We've had a couple fall out there, but that was more my clumsy shuffling as opposed to jumpers. So I'm going to pop them back and give them a shuffle, because these tiny decks, albeit they're cute and lovely, they can be a little bit of a handful to shuffle because they tend to fly all over the show. So I've all my candles lit. I'm getting prepared to do a beautiful relaxing meditation before I head out and start my day. So what am I drawn to picking from this? Let's have a look. I like to fan them out. Okay, this hand size oracle deck is ideal for this. Oh, there's one immediately that I want, and I'm taking the one right next to it, and we'll pop those back there. And what do I want out of this deck? They have the same backs on them, and like I say, these are Patrick Valenza's oracle decks that I am using this morning. And again, I've seen one I want, and it's that one. So we'll start with the 2 little ones. What did I? Cauldron and Boy. Now, what can we take from Cauldron and Boy? Immediately with Cauldron, what's in the pot? What's in the mix for the day? What am I doing? What am I going to add to the ingredients of my day to make it bountiful, to make it prosperous? And that doesn't not necessarily mean prosperous materialistic wise, but prosperous as in fulfilling, as in feeling happy, as in being productive in anything I do today. What am I putting into my pot? Ensure that what I'm putting into the mix is going to be something that is beneficial to myself and all those around me. That I'm casting up a spell for positivity. That I'm casting out a spell for kindness, for nurturing, and for happiness and production. Mindful of what I put in, that I'm not putting anything into the mix that could cause negativity. Now, when I'm talking about the mix, the pot, the spell, what is it? That is my day. It's my day. What am I putting into my day that's going to create positivity? Well, straight up, I'm working in a small community project. I'm going down to collect meds for other people. I'm doing things that I feel is fulfilling my feeling of happiness and joy and passing on the love, so to speak, and giving a helping hand to others. Boy, well, this is a child. This is, for me, although it's a boy, you get boy, girl. Although here we have boy, this is creating for the children. We're going to have children playing out there. We're going to have handprints of the children that grew up in the cul-de-sac. Some of them are 24, 25, 29 years of age and older, whose handprints we want in there from when all of us as a group of people came together and built up this small community. So that's what we're going to do. Just bear with me for 1 second. That was my husband saying bye-bye before he heads off to work. So this is all going to be created not just for us adults to use, but for the children to have a contemplative area where they can sit, where they can relax, where they can watch the bees and the butterflies, and where they can help plant things to grow and nurture that they can be part of. This is something that's community-based. What could it what on the sort of not so negative side, on the warning side, do we not put into our mix? We don't listen to idle gossip. We don't partake in idle gossip. We don't partake in anything that's in any way directed negatively towards other people. Because when you put that into the mix, it sort of sours the end product and it puts an air of negativity down there. So when all this is finished, when we have done this of an evening time, when it's nice and quiet, and I must admit now I have sought the permission of other people around us, I'm just going to sprinkle my little protective salts around the place to keep it a nice, safe space. Okay, so that's my day so far. But what does this one say? Don't forget to take time out to rest, Elaine. Look, we have somebody here who's dancing on somebody else's grave. And that's a little bit of a heads up. Now, there has been an air of negativity down here, and this project has been born from that air of negativity. We wanted to flush the negativity out. There has been an issue where there's a misuse of property, there was a misuse of, there were negative behaviours that were being brought into this area, but they have now gone. But it's not a case of do not dance on that person's grave. The fact that they're going, just let them go peacefully, let them go quietly. You don't need to be dancing and singing on the person's grave. But equally, take time out to rest and recuperate my own energies, because if I don't do that, it could be potential that people could be dancing on mine. Make sure that what I'm doing is for the good of myself as well as for the good of other people. Okay, so that is the type of thing I do when I'm reading an oracle card. I take from that, that which comes into my mind when I see such images, and when I am planning for my day and thinking, well, what's my advice today? Now, there is the potential after this for gossip to arise, for there to be a little bit of negative speak, and that is what I'm being advised here to avoid. Keep in mind that this is being built for the children, this, and also for our own inner child, that we're doing this to bring joy, to take away the negativity that was there in the past, and for things to move on in a much brighter light. As you can see, oracle cards, no matter how we read them, I take from them that which is fed, that feeds my intuition. I do like cards like these where we have a number and we just have images. Okay, now there is a PDF to go with this, and I think that's downloaded onto my computer downstairs. I'm not sure, but I haven't used the PDF, I've not used the book for this, simply because I like to get from it what I feel. And these are so apt for the day that I've got ahead of me. Now, let's compare this to reading an oracle card that has a lot more information. Just bear with me. Those are tarot. Let me see, oracle-wise. My oracle cards are spread amongst 6 drawers here, but let me see. I've got some beautiful oracle cards here. Let's see what we've got here. I'm looking for something that has more information on it, and that way it... Right, okay, let's just take one of these. Now, these are cards I've not particularly gelled with as such, and this is a deck, Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. So let's just shuffle and see what this tells us today. So, whoops, what we can get from this. Now, two have come out, so I'm going to take these 2. So we've got here the Map Maker of Destiny and the Keeper of the Scales. Now, ironically enough, these fit in with what we have read this morning. Okay, we've had the boy and we've had the cauldron. And the cauldron was the main one for me, because this is telling me to be wary of what I put in the pot being the day, what I add to the mix, whether I add positive vibes, a kind attitude, good words, or do I be led through possible gossip and possible negativity and create a negative environment. That's saying be careful what you put in there. Remember, you're feeding an atmosphere full of positivity for the children, but also for our inner child, okay? And also, we don't want to be dancing on the graves of others. So if people have left the area, that and taking their negativity with them, celebrate in a nice way, in a kind way, send them off with good wishes that whatever they do, you hope that they have a good life. Because when you dance on their grave, or you start being joyous that, haha, it didn't work out for them down here, that can misfire and come back to you in all sorts of ways, okay? So let's have a look. Keeper of the Scales, and it's got words on here, fairness and balance, which fits in with what we've said. Now, had I picked up this card initially, would I have chosen fairness and balance? Yes, I would, because the words are there and that's feeding my intuition. So yes, there's a fairness, there's a balance. We want a good, happy medium, okay? We want to be able to discuss, well, okay, what plants we put in. We want to be able to agree and disagree, but in a fair manner, and that's all making our pot very positive, okay? And then we have the Map Maker of Destiny, authentic purpose, inspiration, free will. And what was I saying about our current project that we're doing? That it is for an authentic purpose. It's a communal area. We have a bench there that was made by one of our neighbours that I have already used. It could be a Sunday morning and everywhere's quiet and hubby might be reading the paper. My son will be doing whatever he wants to do, and my other son and daughter are living away, and I'll be having my coffee, and I think, so I'll take my coffee over and I'll sit on the bench. And sometimes either Michelle or Sinead or Elaine will see someone say, oh, I thought I'd join you for a coffee, and we have a catch-up, and it is genuinely brilliant, and it is uniting us together as a small community, and it is full of positive, and we're creating this for an authentic purpose. We're creating it to instill inspiration in our young ones, inspiring them to enjoy nature, inspiring them to take time out and listen to themselves, their inner selves, and to just be and breathe, to look at the plants growing, to be part of nurturing and caring for those plants. And free will. We're doing it because we want to do it. We're doing it because we can do it. We're not doing it because we have to do it. So with oracle cards, if they have words on, they guide, they guide your thought process, and they guide your thought processes in a very positive manner. And sometimes on the rare occasion, let me see if I've got a deck that has a great example of this. I might not have here with me at the moment. I'm just trying to find a particular oracle deck that has quite a lot, that's very wordy. And albeit they're very wordy and very helpful, sometimes it can make the reading of an oracle card almost too positive and woolly and fluffy, and you're not getting that. Yeah, well, all this is very positive. Okay, we're authentic, purpose, inspiration, free will, that's brilliant. But when you're looking at that and you're seeing the creativity of the person sitting there communing with nature and the angels and the fairy folk, stirring up their own magic, writing in their book of thoughts, whether it's stories, poetry, little spells, something to benefit him or herself, themselves, where's the warning? It doesn't lead you to think of, well, if you don't, blah, 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 that the X, Y, and Z could happen. It's very positive. It's lovely. Don't get me wrong. It is lovely. But when I get cards like this, where I'm looking at that, and there is a great positivity in these, but there's also be mindful. Be mindful that what you're putting out there is for the higher good. And we could look at this card differently as well, in the sense of put out the positivity, that's you happy and celebrating. Put out the negativity, it could be the nail in your coffin. Okay, so that's another take on this particular card here. But for me and for today, and because of the situation that's gone on, this is feeding my intuition differently, in the sense of let people go peacefully. They've ended their time here in this area from living here. They're taking with them the negativity and the unpleasantness that they might have brought with them. But don't celebrate. Just let them go quietly, let them go peacefully, and don't let karma have the opportunity to knock on your door, and that potentially the roles could be reversed for whatever reason. And equally, remember to take time out and rest. Let people do what they want to do. If they're going to behave in a way that is going to make you feel in any way uncomfortable, step back. Close yourself off from it. Take your time out. Be peaceful. Rest. Build your energies up. And take your energies from the earth. Meditate. And just let people do what they want to do. Remember, this one where it's free will. Look how they support each other. They've got the free will to celebrate, you've got the free will to rest. Okay? And just enjoy being. Okay? We often, like a seed, we need to take that time out, that peace, relax, tranquility. A bit like the Four of Swords, really. And it's strange because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 people dancing. So it is taking time out from the hubbub. But is it? Yeah, remember, this card can be read in many ways. Positively, rest and recuperation. Sort of mediocrely, let people just go. Don't take part in the celebration of dance at somebody else's. Not so much misfortune, but their decision to move on because, people have stood up and said, this is not going to happen here. And rather than being overly joyous, just let them go. People want to do that, do that. Karma can come back in ways that we don't expect. We never know what's around the corner. So step back from that. Make sure you're doing what is good and positive for you and the rest of the community. So you can see how you can get very much your own messages from cards without messages, and guided thought processes from cards with messages. So that's how I read Oracle, and I hope whatever's been read in those cards that I've had a look at today can give you that little bit of advice, that little bit of positivity to say, be you, do what makes you happy. You are the masters of your outcome. You are in control. It's what you put in there and what you stir in the pot and what comes out that can make or break your day. So be responsible and enjoy whatever your day may bring, and enjoy that cup of coffee too. I think I might have let it go a little bit cold. Not too bad. Have a good day, people. Bye now.